Hello and welcome to a short bonus episode on the Wynnstay Gardening Competition 2021. We'll be hearing from the organiser, the judge and the very proud winners.
It matters not whether you follow in the footsteps of Monty Don, Alan Titchmarsh or Percy Thrower. This competition highlights the full range of interests. I must admit to following Dermot Gavin myself. What about you, Kate?
I slightly plough my own furrow, I think, but we've all spent a lot of time in our gardens recently, so let's see who has genuine green fingers.
Right, I'm here to chat to Sally, who's organised the Wynnstay Gardening Competition over the summer and has given our keen gardeners an opportunity to enjoy sharing their hobby amongst friends as well as having a bit of fun out of it. So, Sally, what was it like being a judge, and do you think you could manage Chelsea?
Oh, Chelsea, watch out, here we come. My co-judge was very, very good and was really pleased to find out about a lot of different plants and everything, and I can get to that later on.
So he was handpicked, was he, your judge?
He was handpicked, my judge.
Who was this famous judge?
Mr. Robin Benson, and he himself is actually a very keen gardener.
Now, in amongst your entries, did you have a good blend of sort of experts as well as the sort of fun element?
Oh, yes. Quite a lot of experts, actually, which was very surprising.
So the standard was quite high?
Oh my God.
Was it?
Very,
Goodness.
very
Oh,
high.
gosh.
Oh my God, you haven't heard.
No, I haven't.
We had to have a helicopter booked to get us away after the prize giving. We didn't want to be lynched.
Oh my word, so it was quite hot competition then? It would be, being the Wynnstay garden competition.
Hot is not the word, I can tell you. We were very lucky. We had some very, very good entries, and especially within the kitchen garden. The cocktail spot was very popular.
Now, can you tell us some of the things which stood out to make the winners? What did it take to actually win? How do you win the best lawn competition?
Well, there were only two entered, actually, and one was immaculate and one sadly was not.
Is that a hard one? Is that a difficult one to get it right?
Not particularly. All we insisted on was a lawn that was mown in good straight lines, which this one was, that won, and that looked healthy, which it did. And of course, actually, again, it was slightly the wrong time of year because we'd had quite a lot of dry weather, but it had picked itself up and was nice and green. And not many weeds. I mean, the judge was down on his hands and knees checking, you know. And sadly, the second lawn had a little issue that they had some cattle across it 10 days beforehand.
There was no skullduggery involved.
No, nothing like that.
Vegetable spiking
No, not quite like that. And he hadn't really cleaned up after his dogs on his lawn, and the judge didn't like that. So
I'm sure it's a great effort.
Yeah.
So you think there are a lot of garden enthusiasts in the Wynnstay? You think it would look hopeful for another year?
I hope it's going to take off in a big way, because I think that when people hear about it, and they've also, hopefully at the dinner, will see the photographs, there'll be a lot of people who realise they're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
We can all do it.
And over lockdown, I can see your garden through the window. You've obviously enjoyed developing your garden.
And what I was quite pleased about is that we didn't do best garden, so to speak, because I think it's very difficult to judge a best garden because they're all so different. So having the different categories that we had, I think made it much more fun.
Well, I think you did enormously a wonderful thing, Sally, organising all that. And do you think you'll be able to produce your own haylage now after seeing all this?
I have no idea about that.
I'm sure you've got it all planned out. Many, many thanks, Sally.
Before we chat to the winners, let's hear from the judge, Robin Benson. Robin, I hear you're a bit of a pro on the judging circuit.
Well, I wouldn't quite say a pro, but I go to quite a few shows, and I personally show dahlias. I grow dahlias and exhibit them. But I have exhibited all sorts of other things as well at some of the local and agricultural shows, even the cookery section. Now, the cookery section is not the easiest to judge because they're all so very good at it, but I did used to judge Agden Show, which was organised by Ben and Gail Leggett, and they had some real novelty classes, and it was only open to people from Agden, and each year I judged it, sometimes controversially, but we all had a great time and it was great fun.
Well, it sounds although you know what you're looking for anyway.
Well, yes.
You weren't offered any nice bribes or anything?
Well, odd ones, odd pint of beer here and there I was offered, but I declined.
Yeah. So what would you say the highlights were for you in this year's competition?
The highlights there were two categories that stood out that were very difficult to judge. One was the cocktail area. People had gone to town and really made a lot of effort to make their cocktail areas look really special.
And was it difficult because you obviously sampled a lot of
we
cocktails?
sampled some of them. Yes, we had samples at some of them. Some were alcoholic, some were non-alcoholic. But Sally and I, we had a really good time going around judging all these places.
And so, what are your gardening tips for the Wynnstay gardeners?
Well, if you're going to enter the garden competition, just look exactly what the category says. And not just with the Wynnstay gardening competition, any competition, just read the schedule first. And you've got to adhere to what it says on the schedule. So if it says a container of flowers,
I did wonder whether we were going to get to that. Okay, well, I'll declare, having done 70 containers...
Yeah.
And getting the big E from the competition, I reckon. I actually then looked at it the other way around, and I think I was very lucky that my sister-in-law didn't bill me for £690 worth of entry fees for the other 69 pots.
It was a very innovative entry because looking down from the window with the WWW all spelt out in containers of plants, it looked really spectacular. But the actual competition said a container, not a collection of containers.
I'm still getting over the disappointment, but let's move on. So any other ways that you can prepare for next year's competition?
Keep an eye on your gardens. Look out for, in particular, we went round the vegetable gardens, and the vegetable gardens were really spectacular this year. People growing lots of exotic fruit, exotic vegetables, things that you don't normally see. Years ago, people just used to grow potatoes, carrots, peas, cabbages, whatever, but there was all sorts of different things this year. And in the fruits as well, peaches and apricots. But make sure that you keep an eye on things that they haven't got caterpillars, they haven't got slugs and snails. We saw a few instances of green fly, black fly, even the cabbages eaten by pigeons and things like that. You've just got to keep an eye on your fruit and veg, that things aren't getting hold of them before the competition starts.
Yes. Brilliant, Robin. Well, I think we all had a lot of fun participating or observing. I should be looking at Wynnstay Gardens through new eyes. And I think we all have to remember that the judge's decision is final.
Quite right.
Thank you. And now to the results.
Now, I'm just visiting Mike Metcalf, who was the winner of the container class in the gardening competition. And I can see here a magnificent trough full of beautiful colours and lots of bird ornaments. So you must have been thrilled to bits to win, Mike. What do you think tipped the balance for you?
I think that the fact that the sun came out on the day of the judging, because the flowers that were in there are very sun dependent and close up in wet and grey weather. And the sun did come out, and it was a glorious show of messy bryanthemums.
Well, I think it was a credit to you. Well done. And it's south-facing, a magnificent big stone trough, all beautifully planted, so I can see it's a worthy winner. Well done.
There were 3 entries in the ponds category. Mike Metcalf was runner-up to winner Jicky Hutchinson-Smith. Jicky, you created this amazing pond in the middle of Morpeth. Tell us about your freshwater snails.
I have a very entertaining time because I sit and watch everybody who lives in my pond for hours and hours. And I think I know my snails and my freshwater boatmen and everybody almost by name. But the snails entertain me because they have to take air and breathe like everything. Snails come to the top of the surface, turn themselves upside down and hang on the top or the squidgy bits, and then put a pipe up to take air in and have a lovely breeze. And when they've breathed or had enough oxygen, they let go and fall back to the bottom of the pond. So I know each of my snails who do this. They do it twice a day. I haven't actually numbered them, but I do know them almost by name. And they entertain me hugely, apart from everybody else who lives in my pond.
It sounds magical. So a lot of pondering by your pond, basically.
I think that's clever, yes.
I'm here today with Simon Woodward to try to find out how he won the best cocktail spot in the gardening competition. He narrowly beat Claire Darsbury, who also did extremely well to catch the eye of these extremely exacting judges. Simon, looking round, it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous spot full of pots and things. How did you manage to win, do you think?
Well, I'm sure it was down to the cocktail, but I think the garden's a bit different. It's a small garden, lots and lots of pots and little bits of architectural features. So I think it just catches the eye, really.
It certainly does.
It's a bit different.
I can see a kettle there filled with a
There is a kettle.
flowing plant.
There are a
and
few
figs.
old chimney pots.
It's
lots of
absolutely wonderful.
Lots of pots and troughs and a few logs
So-
stored away.
So, which cocktail did you serve?
I couldn't tell you. That's a top secret.
Oh, really?
Just in
Oh,
case.
especially.
Well, no, it's in my bag. That's just in case I need to have
Because-
another go next year.
Oh, God.
To be honest, the truth
Well,
is, I was helped by a friend of mine who sent me a little cocktail recipe. So,
Well, it really impressed the judges. And but looking at your garden, it's not just the cocktail spot. You're a true gardener, and it's extremely beautiful. So well done indeed.
thank you.
As we've already heard in the lawn class, Nigel had a cattle problem. This was, in fact, 18 heifers and a bull, 9 days before judging, aerating the lawn nicely. But I'm here today with winner Susie Goodall, and her lawn looks immaculate. So, Susie, do you have a robot mower, or is he called Donny?
He's called Donny, though occasionally I help, but mainly it's Donny.
And what other lawn tips do you have for us?
I don't actually have any lawn tips. I was very surprised to win. Maybe having hound puppies might be the answer, because that's what I seem to have a lot of.
Well, it looks amazing. And does this mean that you'll be having a lawn meet this year?
Well, if we weren't a bog in winter on our lawn, I would definitely love a lawn meet.
Brilliant, Susie. Well, it looks immaculate. Thank you so much.
Good morning. It's very early in the morning, Mary, but welcome back to From the Horse Box. I'd really like to know how you managed to win the tallest sunflower, 9'2", narrowly beating Norma, your great friend Norma. So well done. How did you manage to get that sort of height?
I think it's because it was grown in a very sheltered spot. It had a lot of sun, a lot of horse muck on the bottom, and I just left it to itself. It was watered an awful lot. I mean,
So it's down to that special ingredient, was it?
I think it was.
Well done,
yes.
Mary. Thank you.
A pleasure.
The kitchen garden class was hotly contested with 7 entries. Mary Wynne-Jones was the runner-up, with Chrissy Minshaw the winner. Congratulations, Chrissy.
Thank you, Kate.
Tell us about your beautiful walled kitchen garden.
Well, for one thing, it's a lot of work, but it's very enjoyable and it's certainly kept me busy in lockdown. So, yeah, we love it. John's particularly passionate about the fruit and veg. He's not so bothered about the flowers, probably because he can't eat those. But yeah, it's just a great passion, and it's nice to be self-sufficient, really, and organic.
So you obviously spend many hours on your hands and knees. What are you particularly proud of?
I don't know, really. Perhaps the variety?
Are you a gardening gloves lady?
No, I don't like wearing gloves.
You like the soil behind your fingernails?
I don't like that either, because that's a nuisance to get rid of. But no, sometimes I wear gloves. Well, when I'm weeding nettles, I do. But apart from that, no.
So, I mean, all the vegetables you eat come out of the garden? Absolutely.
Yes, we don't really buy anything, and fruit. Yeah, so it's good.
How amazing. I seem to remember you have a family WhatsApp gardening group for the extended family. Tell us about that.
I do indeed. It's called the Cabbage Patch Dolls. So I will message them at the beginning of the week and say if I'm here and what days, or if I'm going away to Abersock or whatever. So come along, and then they'll just message me back when they want to come and descend and pick and gather what they like.
Brilliant. And with all those grandchildren, they'll be tearing around some.
Oh yes, they come feeding the fish, and it's nice to see the little ones actually running round, and yeah, all good fun. Share it round.
I think that Cabbage Patch Dolls is a brilliant idea. So you and John have the place looking immaculate, and also you very kindly had the prize-giving party for all the entries who got to see your amazing garden. And very kind, and again, many congratulations on your big win.
Thank you, Kate. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
We can't leave without a special mention for Ella and Darcy Bebbington, who are the worthy winners of the Best Children's Container.
Yes, we've all had lots of fun, and I hope everyone is polishing their trowels for next year, and lots of grafting ahead.
I'm so glad we've done this special edition, as it will hopefully help to spread the word. And congratulations to Sally, Robin and all the entrants, and to Chrissy and John for hosting the prize giving. They have all provided great entertainment for all our listeners.